Hey YouTube, Skipper T here. Here a while back I did a boil test on my 9-cup Tech Sport percolator, coffee percolator, and one of the individuals commented that saw it and asked me to do a review doing it over a fire. So today I'm going to do it over a fire. I'm going to use my Sterno single burner stove, which I just absolutely love, use all the time. And in the course of that, and in multiple comments on that previous video, somebody had seen me use this before and struggle starting the fire, and they said, you know, light your cotton ball and then drop it like the Swedish fire where you start it on top and let it burn down, and then from there it should be able to take off, and then you can add more wood. We're going to try that today because it was an excellent suggestion. So I've got a Vaseline covered cotton ball here. I've got 2 or 3 small pieces of fat wood, and I took 2 probably 4-inch sections of jute twine, took the 3 strands apart and then teased each one of those up, made a nice little bird's nest under it, and we're going to see if this particular combination with the cotton ball falling down on top of it will get that going. I've got some twigs in a box that I keep handy here. We'll get those going. And I've got some oak wood chips from when I was making the square and round mallets rather. I've also posted a video on how to make those, so we'll probably use some of these as well. When I did the boil test or the percolating test with this coffee pot, I let the alcohol stove heat up, I let it bloom, I made sure that it was fully engaged, and then I added the pot to it. So I'm going to do the same thing. We'll get this thing started, and we'll see if we can get a sustainable fire. We're going to check and see if this process works first. I'll zoom the camera in so that you can see that, and then I'm going to give it a few minutes, and once I've got a sustainable fire going and that I can just add more twigs to, then we'll set the pot on it and we'll start the timer on the phone, and we'll see how long it takes to percolate a 9-cup pot of coffee. So stay with me, guys. Okay kids, I can't remember the individual's name that gave me the idea to drop the cotton ball on the top, but thank you kindly. That seemed to really work good. Once you've got everything underneath, you know, a little jute twine, some dryer lint or something like that in there, boy howdy, I tell you what, this is a good to go fire. Anyway, guys and gals, stay with me. When it gets good and set up, I'll set the old 9-cup pot on top here, and we'll see how she goes. Okay YouTube, phone is here. Let's start the timer. It is in fact up and running. We've got a nice fire going in here. Decent bed of coals. I'm going to add a little bit heavier stuff in here. This is going to take a little work to keep this alive and going well here, I think. Put some smaller stuff in here. And I think we're about ready to put the pot on. So since we started the timer, get the pot up. And let's just see where we go from here. Okay guys, had about 16 minutes. It started to percolate. Don't know if you guys can see that, but that's considerably quicker than over the alcohol stove on that. So I think here in a few minutes it's going to percolate. As soon as it turns brown, percolates a few more times, you've got a cup of coffee. Coming up on 19 minutes, and I'd say we have coffee. So let's just call it 19 minutes. Should be warm enough to drink, thick enough to be coffee. Call this a success at about 10 minutes quicker than the alcohol stove that I did several weeks ago. Anyway guys, we'll pull that off the fire and we'll pour it out and see what it looks like. Stay with me. Okay guys, call this a successful pot of coffee. And just so you know, it was about 63 degrees out this morning. We've had an off and on wind, anywhere from about 4 to 10 miles an hour. Overall, things worked really well. I was able to close the front on this to create a fire block on that. That dude's still pretty hot. Move it off to the side. Got a little bit of ash underneath. Perfect. If you're in an area where you have to be concerned with things such as fire hazards and such, the Sterno stove works absolutely beautifully. And now for the final test, let's see what the coffee looks like as we pour it out here. Oh, call that a perfect consistency. That is a nice cup of coffee right there. Kind of glad I did this. Ran out of coffee at the house. Well, kids, that's a Sterno stove, single burner stove with wood. And you've seen the modifications I've made. Tech Sport 9-cup percolator. And then just an insulated cup to keep it nice and warm as I go about my activities for the morning. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Give it a like, do a subscribe if you're so inclined. Otherwise, remember, keep your eyes open, keep your head up, and we'll see you outside. Have a great day.